Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Bank to the Future Live. For those new to the show, this is where we go through all things crypto at Bank to the Future. I give a lot of content on the latest news in crypto, and every week it always gets, there's never a dull moment in crypto. But this is actually dedicated to our Bank to the Future investors and our Bank to the Future customers, BF Wallet users, Bank to the Future token holders, and everything around the Bank to the Future token and platform ecosystem. So today we've got tons of portfolio news. We've got lots of updates. We've got lots of things that I'd like to cover. And as always, we've got Famida here moderating. She'll let me know if there's any issues or if I cut out or if our connection goes down or anything. But also, please do use the live chat. We rely upon the live chat in order to pull out questions. If you're on our Telegram group or if you're on Twitter, for Twitter, use hashtag BFLive and we'll try to pull out your questions on Twitter. If you're in our Telegram group, we'll have someone there trying to pull out some questions and get Famida's attention so that they can be asked as we go through. But the easiest place to start is the live chat. So today, we've got about 10 different portfolio company updates. We've got a lot to get through. We've got lots of new features that we'd like to share. We've got new markets, we've got new pitches. Things are going really fast at the moment and everything's on a high, I guess. Sentiment is very high with the bull market. Bitcoin going past $8,000 has driven a lot of new investment, a lot of new activity, a lot of new renowned interest. I guess people are waiting until it goes to new all-time highs of 20,000 until we start to get new entrants to the market. But for now, everybody is very excited and there's so much happening on the institutional side. This bull market is so different from the previous bull market. Each bull market I've lived through, we've had 3 major crashes and 3 bull markets since I've been involved. And each one comes with so much more, and this one is no different in terms of involvement, adoption, interest. So let's go straight through. So I'm just going to pull up my show notes just before we start sharing the screen. Remember to use hashtag BFLive if you're on Twitter. Please do like this video. Please share this video. And remember to subscribe so that every time we go live at this time every week, you get a new notification and YouTube will send you an email, as well as some of the other videos and updates we got at the whole Bank to the Future ecosystem. So if you look on the portfolio section, if you go to BnkToTheFuture.com, you'll notice we've got a few new pitches live. We've got AirTM pitch, which is now available. It went through the process of being open to existing investors that wanted to reinvest. Then to our priority access members, those of you that are new to the ecosystem, if you deposit 10,000 Bank to the Future tokens to your BnkToTheFuture.com account, or you store them on your BF wallet, which is connected with your BnkToTheFuture.com account, then you can hold those in either a custodial way on the platform or a non-custodial way on the BF wallet, where you own the private key, you control it, but you can connect that with your BnkToTheFuture.com account, and that gives you all the perks of being a premium member of BnkToTheFuture.com. You'll get priority access to deals, a 48-hour head start, 50% discounted trading fees, and some other things that we'll be hinting at today that are coming soon to the Bank to the Future token and the BnkToTheFuture.com ecosystem. So if you go, for those premium members, you would have got the priority access to the AirTM pitch. For those of you not familiar with AirTM, they do a lot of business in Venezuela because they give people a USD, the ability to save in US dollars, which for many people in the West, that may not be a huge thing. To people in other countries, it's a huge thing to be able to peg your savings to the dollar and spend those, especially in countries like Venezuela that are going through hyperinflation. That can be a real game through and game changer for certain people in certain countries. So AirTM, they just secured an investment from Coinbase Ventures and led by another venture capitalist. And so we managed to get a secondary trade for those that wanted to reinvest, a very small allocation. for those interested in gaining equity exposure to ATM. We also launched BTR Exchange. BTR Exchange is a former portfolio company. They are the largest brokerage in Romania for Bitcoin. They used to be called Bitcoin Romania, but they're now expanding to Canada. They've been setting up offices there. They've got a physical presence there, and they're now launching their exchange and doing a further funding round in order to expand to Canada. They secured an investor, and we're now allowing people to co-invest on the same terms through one of our syndicates. I guess the exchange ecosystem is very interesting in Canada, with one of the largest ones, Quadriga, going down in a blaze of controversy. So that leaves an open market, and BTR Exchange are looking to capitalize on that opportunity using what they did in Romania to become the largest brokerage, ATM network and exchange in Romania. So what else have we got now? Pitches closing on BnkToTheFuture.com. We had a very fast success rate with BitRefill. BitRefill is a wallet not a wallet. It allows you to spend your crypto using the gift card ecosystem. And they were the very first company to integrate with Lightning, Bitcoin Lightning, and they've also got a Lightning node payment channel service called Thor, which is allowing people to get up and running on the Bitcoin Lightning network as the very first to integrate with that. And you can use your Bitcoin Lightning in order to spend them at the largest brands in the world using gift cards. So BitRefill is in overfunding. They had $1 million goal. They smashed through that. They've given us an additional allocation. And then now, at the time of this recording, I think just over 1,300,000. So they can, once the pitch goes into overfunding, just so you understand, it means that the company has decided that they will sell more equity. It doesn't mean that existing investors in the round get diluted. It means that the company is going to sell more equity, but it also means that they can close the pitch at any time, because if they decide that they don't want to sell any more equity, then they can close early once it's reached its funding goal. That's how overfunding works. Closing soon is also FaZe, who announced the co-founder of Ethereum, Anthony Dioro, invested in the round, and their pitch is coming to a close. So if you wanted to look at FaZe, who is also doing a wallet in the gift card ecosystem, allowing you to spend your cryptocurrency with the largest brands in the world. So you can check that out. That's closing soon. Head over to the Invest tab on Bnk To The Future. Make sure you've got a verified and qualified account. Unfortunately, these deals are not open to US investors, but good news, US investors, we've just got a deal signed off by our broker-dealer so that you have access to an opportunity that will be coming out very soon. And so keep an eye out for that. Recently closed. So for those of you that weren't staying up to date, the last couple of Bnk To The Future live episodes, I gave Bnk To The Future live episode 12. I gave my perspective on the Bitfinex and Tether situation. Feel free to go back, look at the archives. There's a playlist somewhere around our YouTube channel where you can see all the previous episodes of Bnk To The Future live. And in episode 13, we went through the Bitfinex IEO. The good news is that the CTO of Bitfinex actually confirmed that the IEO may not need to actually happen because they've had over $1 billion in commits. We did a very quick private round just for shareholders in Bitfinex and Bnk To The Future token priority access members. We put together a syndicate. We didn't want to make a big deal or a big splash about it because Bitfinex were doing very well at plugging their $850 million gap with a new token, and those have been issued. Congratulations to Bitfinex for executing what looks like to be another successful recovery plan as we watch that ecosystem and everything unfold. And also, just so you know, head over to the Bitfinex secondary market page. If you go to the trade section on BnkToTheFuture.com, you will see all the deals that are trading on our secondary market. We're also going to release an educational series at some point in the coming months because we think that it's important for people to understand how these products work. But when you go to the trade page, that's where we list the largest companies in crypto, where you can get exposure to the equity and shares of the largest companies in crypto via one of our special SPV mechanisms. For those of you not familiar with the term, SPV stands for Special Purpose Vehicle. Essentially, that's a lot of jargon for a special company that we set up that is backed one-for-one by shares in the underlying company. So if you're trading the Bitfinex SPV, the special company is backed one-to-one with shares in Bitfinex, and you can trade the Bitfinex SPV. You can buy and sell, place an order on our OTC market. It's currently in beta. We're going to be launching fiat deposits soon and other crypto deposits. In beta, you're only able to deposit Tether, just so that we can get the more sophisticated crypto community to kind of engage in the process. And we've got a few updates on there as well that we've been rolling out a beta and different markets. So congratulations to the Bitfinex LEO token sale. And we did a private round for that, and we contributed several million to that process. We look forward to seeing that and where that goes next. We also closed the Ripple Labs secondary market pre-allocation. And that is, we're proud to announce today that has just launched on the beta version of the Bank to the Future secondary market, where you can place orders and you can buy and sell Bank to the Future Ripple SP, which is our special company that is backed one-to-one by shares in the company Ripple Labs. Not to be confused with the cryptocurrency XRP, which is currently the third largest cryptocurrency. Ripple Labs, the company, creates products that are attempting to disrupt SWIFT and enable more banks to engage in a more efficient process for international settlement. They're also the largest token holder of the XRP cryptocurrency, which is a big asset that they hold on their balance sheet, making the company Ripple Labs more valuable the more that ecosystem evolves. And also coming soon, just while we got the pitch updates, before we head over to the screen share and go through some of the news, coming soon, we've got the Kraken pitch, we've got Edge pitch. Edge used to be known as Airbits. Airbits did their funding round on us several years back. They've now come back for a second round, and we're happy to announce they have just secured their lead investor, and we've just checked out the video, so we look forward to bringing that pitch to you very soon. The goal for both of those is to be signed off by the US broker-dealer to be open to US investors if all the due diligence is passed, everything goes to plan. We've also got the token market pitch as well, which is looking to be open to US investors. And not available to US investors is our secondary market allocations. Unfortunately, our secondary market at this stage in beta is not open to US investors. It requires some additional regulatory work. We have plans to open it up in the future, but at this stage, the US regulatory environment is not quite ready for that. But we'll be announcing to our Bank to the Future premium priority access members the next secondary market allocation, which is blockchain.com. So keep an eye out in your email while we share that with you just for premium members. And we've also signed a couple new people. Look out for CoinFirm, who's a KYC and AML provider in the crypto space. We've worked with them personally as a customer, and they've opened up their next round. And I'll be speaking at their event in Malta next week for those of you that are going to be at the Blockchain and AI Summit in Malta next week. I'll be there. I've got about 3 speaking gigs. And I'll be speaking at the token market event with CoinFirm as well on the latest that's happening. And I believe the Malta regulators will be there as well. So I look forward to seeing everything that's happening over there. Okay, what else have we got for you? In terms of the secondary market right now, I think this is a good time to move over to the old screen share. So give me a second while I figure out where I am and what I'm doing there. Okay. So you can see me now, and if I do this successfully, I'm going to turn into an infinite screen of dots until I disappear. For me, it will let me know if there's any issues. Otherwise, I'll just continue. Let's head on over to, where are we? So these are some of the announcements. That's the blog. Where's the BnkToTheFuture.com page? No, we don't want to do that. Okay, I think I've lost it. But let's just open a new browser. And hopefully that's all. Yeah, we're on high alert at the moment, so you can click that. Here we go. So here's the dummy account. And what you'll notice is that all those pitches that are open to all our qualifying members are over there on the Invest tab. Here we got AirTM, Bit Refill, Phase, and BTR Exchange. And if you're a premium member, then you will also get emails with additional pitches that may not open to all the other regular members. So there's that. And head over here to the trade page where you'll see the big orange beta. And here is our secondary market. It's been improving and improving the more we do. And you'll now notice that there is now 4 markets live. So we've got the Bitfinex SPV, we got the Circle SPV, we got the Coinbase SPV, and the Ripple Labs SPV, with many more to come. We're very excited about opening up. And remember, just to recap how it works. So if you go over, head over to Bitfinex here. Obviously, there's been a lot of volatility in the price with everything that's happening with Bitfinex and Tether at the moment. But you can head over here. You can place on our over-the-counter order book. You can place a buy and a sell order, and that allows other people, other investors in our ecosystem to take those bids and offers. You can see here that we've got the price chart and the volume history. Obviously, we're still in beta, so volume's still low, but that creates a great opportunity to do an arbitrage between the price of the underlying company and the price of the SPV, and you can see the trade history here. We've also done in beta, thanks to your feedback, a deeper integration with the company page. So now you can head over here and let's take a company. Let's look at another company, for example. Let's head to the Coinbase SPV, or let's do Circle. And with Circle, you can see the trades here. This one was just launched last week, so it's just picking up a little bit in beta. We're just kicking the tires down the road. And you can see here that we've got new charts as well, where we go through the history of the valuations and funding rounds. And you can see a bit more information there, and we'll look to improve that based upon your feedback. You'll also notice that we've got a little bit of live data here so that you can see how it's performing and get to the trade page very easily. This discussion page is where every investor that has an account on Bank to the Future can discuss the deal and ask questions. And this investor zone is just for investors that own some of the SPV shares in Circle, so that they can have a discussion on a private basis with existing investors through that. So that's how it all works. We've now got our 4th market on there, and we're very happy about getting that out of beta in the coming months and opening up much better deposits with our banking partner now that we've got it, so we can be integrated with depositing up to 35 different fiat currencies. So everything's moving really nicely. The Bank to the Future token is kind of in line with the market at the moment. So it's good to see that volume picking up. I think we're consistently around about $1 million of liquidity. And we think that the major use case for the Bank to the Future token, while we've got our coin payments integration, allowing the Bank to the Future token to be spent anywhere that coin payments is accepted. One of the major features that we think is going to be useful as we come out of beta in the secondary market is you get a 50% discount off all trading fees when you pay your fees with the Bank to the Future token. And we, so we're currently at about $1 million of volume a day according to CoinMarketCap. And so that's kind of consistent with where the market's going. And, you know, our team are working on many more things to increase the utility of that. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got a couple more things. Remember, do ask your questions throughout this. If you're watching live or if you're watching the recording, we'll try and go back to your questions if you leave comments below this video. But I'm just going to head over to some of the portfolio company updates. I'll try and get through quick because we've had a lot of portfolio news. Obviously, consensus in New York tends to be the time when everyone makes announcements. So let's dive into that. And then I'll also give you some exclusive new sneak peeks at some of the new features that are going to be going live on Bank to the Future soon. So the first announcement is Securitize, one of our portfolio companies. For those of you not familiar with Securitize, Securitize are allowing, they're a technology provider that allows people to create security tokens, companies to create security tokens using the Ethereum blockchain, using their DS protocol. We've done an integration with Securitize as well as being an investor and one of our portfolio companies. Our integration is the BF wallet, and the BF wallet is a self-custodial securities token wallet. For those of you not familiar with the difference between custodial and self-custodial, if you put funds on BnkToTheFuture.com, then we are holding those in a custodial relationship. If you keep your funds on the Bank to the Future wallet, the BF wallet, then that means you own the private key, and that is the innovation that Bitcoin brought to the market, the ability for you to own your own assets. And so everything on the BF wallet, while it does show you your balance that we hold in a custodial relationship through BnkToTheFuture.com, it also allows you to hold those assets and security tokens and Bank to the Future tokens in a self-custodial way, which means you're responsible for securing them. If you lose the phone or the device, or you lose the backup key, then those assets are gone. So it's very important that you follow that, and we don't have a way to retrieve those. So be very careful when you're using those. But Securitize has announced an integration with the DS protocol through T0. T0 is a securities token exchange. We are close with the team there, and we'll look to do more together in the future. But it's great to see these partnerships coming to fruition. So that's that one. Also, one of our portfolio companies, Exodus. Exodus is a beautiful wallet, and I've been waiting for this announcement for a long time. But Exodus is now integrated with Trezor. What that means is that you can now use your Exodus wallet, which in my opinion is the most beautiful, the greatest user experience, the easiest way to store cryptocurrencies. The team, JP and Daniel, have done an amazing job at creating one of the most beautiful user experiences and beautiful crypto wallets that has integrated with tons and tons of cryptocurrencies. And they've now released the Trezor integration so that you can now keep a copy of the private key on your Trezor on a hardware device rather than your computer, and you still gain from the beautiful user experience of Exodus. So congratulations, this is what I've been waiting for. I love the Exodus wallet. I love Trezor. Now these two plug together, and we're also very pleased to announce that in the coming weeks, the Exodus team have agreed to allow support for the Bank to the Future token. So you'll now be able to store your BF tokens on your Trezor device in a beautiful way via the Exodus wallet. So we're really happy and really look forward to seeing that happen. And bringing the Bank to the Future token to an entirely new ecosystem. They've got many, many users. It's a very popular wallet. And they'll also be supporting us in order to create more exchange integrations there for the Bank to the Future token and pushing the Bank to the Future token through their ecosystem. So we're really happy that Exodus is there. And remember, Exodus is also a portfolio company. They were a very early adopter of Bank to the Future. We did their seed round. They haven't needed funding since, and they've been growing and growing and just creating just a fantastic business. One of those companies that we like to see more of at Bank to the Future. They give regular updates every quarter to investors, exactly what we like to see, exactly what we try to encourage. We look forward to seeing a very well executed plan there as well. Another interesting one from our portfolio company, the CEO of Circle that is currently, the SPV is live on our secondary market. They made the headlines when they were discussing how the CME futures market for Bitcoin passed $1 billion in one day. The institutions are in, they are coming, they are in droves. For those of you not following the news, BACT, which is the part of the Intercontinental Exchange, which is part of the New York Stock Exchange Group, is launching their cryptocurrency exchange and their service. And we've had a wave of large companies saying that they're going to be accepting Bitcoin as payments, including rumors from eBay. We've also seen Whole Foods come out. We've seen Starbucks come out, and now the tidal wave to follow. It's official in my eyes. Wall Street is in, they're pushing it. Silicon Valley is in, they're pushing it. And I just expect to see more and more people trying to, they were using the bear market, in my perspective, to accumulate as much cheap funds as they could from the people that didn't quite get the value proposition and were only in it for the short term. We're seeing that with the futures markets. We're also seeing similar things with Kraken's future markets, another portfolio company, as their volumes in the futures markets are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Another announcement from one of our portfolio companies, Coinbase, and this is a partnership with another one of our portfolio companies, Circle, and Circle launched the USDC coin in a partnership with Coinbase, and they're rolling out the stable coin to 85 different countries. Rather opportunistically, I would say, on the Tether news, but Bitfinex is a very, in my perspective, from all that I've done and seen working with them, they're a very resilient company, and Tether is still King Kong, but it's good to see competition. It's good to see more options. It's good to see different products being launched into this ecosystem, and we look forward to seeing USDC become more important in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Also, one of our other portfolio companies, Rootstock, made the news at CoinDesk today. We were part of doing an allocation in the token sale for RIF tokens, RIF tokens, which is the tokens part of the Rootstock ecosystem. For those of you not familiar with Rootstock, it is a sidechain scaling solution and tokenization solution for those that want to create tokens on top of Bitcoin and use sidechains. And you can create tokens right now. RIF was the very first Rootstock token created on a sidechain of Bitcoin. And they've been making some announcements about their layer 3 and scaling solutions. So check it out with their smart contract tokens as well. We're seeing a wave of innovation around bringing tokens and scaling solutions to Bitcoin, which is great to see. Get rid of that advertising. What have we got here? Another announcement from Coinbase, they launched XRP trading. XRP is the cryptocurrency. The largest holder of XRP is the third largest cryptocurrency, is Ripple. And they have opened up, I think, was it trading in New York? Very rare because they've obviously got their BIT licenses. It's one of the hardest places to open up trading in. But now you can do that via Coinbase, and Ripple Labs is the largest holder of XRP. What else have we got here? More news. Have I missed one? No, that's Coinbase launching XRP and New York trading increasing. RIF we have done. Uphold, one of our early portfolio companies. Some people might not be familiar with Uphold, but Uphold was a very early company, one of the largest brands. They went through a challenging time, a restructuring, but they've come back strong. But Uphold is now integrated with Ledger, allowing people to hold their Uphold. So you're seeing a real movement towards self-custodial, especially in the wave of hacks and custodial issues. But they've launched their storage solution. And I believe they've also got an interest-paying product for those that want to either get collateralized loans or lend out some of their crypto in a collateralized environment. Securitize, another announcement. You can check this one out, trying to get through it. Securitize 3.0 goes live and to help with security token adoption. Here's the new companies on the Bank to the Future secondary market. We've got Ripple Labs SPV, Coinbase SPV, Circle SPV, and Bitfinex SPV. And we look forward to rolling out more. This is Anthony Diorio, who was invested in the phase round, which I think has got a couple more days on Bank to the Future. Let's check that out. You can go to the invest page. We're on high security alert at the moment. I think people are throwing high traffic and at the site. So we have that there, but phase is here, and Anthony Diorio, the co-founder of Ethereum, has made an investment there. So I think they've got, we're in the final 17 hours. So we're at the last day for phase, and then we'll be closing off that round. What else do we have? Also, check out Blockstream. Blockstream announced their partnership with Bank to the Future, where they announced the launch of their security token platform on Liquid. Liquid is a side chain of Bitcoin. It's so exciting. This is the moment we have been waiting for, where we've now got Lightning on Bitcoin as a layer 2 scaling solution. We've also got Liquid, where you can do tokenization through sidechain solutions. And we've been working closely with the Blockstream team to be one of their early launch partners to look at how we can make equity-backed security tokens on the most trusted and secure blockchain, which is Bitcoin. So we're really, really excited about the amount of innovation. And also, you might have seen Microsoft announce that they're going to be using the Bitcoin blockchain now. We're seeing a real movement back towards, excuse me, I got a bit excited there, not my camera. But Blockstream made a public announcement here, and you can see they discussed the Bank to the Future partnership on the Blockstream blog as they made their announcements at Consensus. So we look forward to rolling out further solutions and allow for a lot of the largest companies in crypto to be now traded as securities tokens in compliance with global securities laws through services like the BF wallet, which is a wallet for security tokens. And we can do it in custodial way through BnkToTheFuture.com and self-custodial way through the BF wallet, and further announcements that we'll be making on further episodes of Bank to the Future Live. So that's a whole lot of news. I think that's most of the news. I'm going to spend the rest of the time going through the new features on Bank to the Future that we'll be releasing and how that relates to the Bank to the Future token, the Bank to the Future main app, the Bank to the Future wallet, and all of our other products, and a new product that we're going to be announcing today as well that will be rolling out next week. So let's just head over to some of the screen grabs I've got for you. Remember now, if you head over to the App Store, if you're running an old version of the BF wallet, please head over, upgrade your wallet, and you'll notice that we now have Bitcoin support, which we announced last week. So it will look something like this. And the reason we're doing Bitcoin support, of course, is because we're doing our integration with the Liquid network so that then we can start looking at issuing and rolling out to the security token ecosystem and developing our non-custodial solutions in compliance with securities laws, using a lot of what we built out over the years, almost a decade now, I guess, at Bank to the Future. Started the vision in 2010, and 2020 will be our 10-year anniversary of the vision. But now with Bitcoin support, we can now roll out our Liquid support, which will be coming out in future releases. Then we can do more in the security token ecosystem, both on the Bitcoin side and the Ethereum side through our securitized integrations, our Liquid network integrations. So we're really excited about bringing that to you. So please make sure you're running the latest version. Also, a feature people have been requesting, long overdue, and we're starting to roll out the first beta tests, Eternal Alpha and M Beta, which is the revamped fund section of your account, so that you can, and the portfolio section, so that you can start to see some of the value of the funds that you hold on Bank to the Future, either in your tokens, your security tokens, or your fiat funds, integrated with the portfolio section, many people have been complaining that they can't see the value anymore. This is, we had to take off the value because we had some changes in order to launch our secondary market. But it's all coming back at some point. And here's a little sneak peek of the new beautiful design and user experience as we upgrade our more clunky user experiences that we have at the moment, one step at a time. So there's a little sneak peek, and we look forward to bringing that to you. And finally, we're very proud to announce that next week we'll be rolling out the beta of our brand new product, which is the Bank to the Future identity solution. The Bank to the Future identity solution is something we've been working on for a long time. We realized that over the years, because we've been doing custom onboarding processes in compliance with international regulation, securities laws and anti-money laundering laws, and automating that process as much as we can through RegTech and regulation technology, we realized that we had this very valuable onboarding process which people want to gain access to. And so we are looking forward to, we've separated the identity solution from the main BnkToTheFuture.com application so that that identity can then be ported to other applications like the Bank to the Future wallet, like the future non-custodial products that we have. And the first rollout of that is we're going to be doing a couple of things. Firstly, we're allowing for a very highly requested feature for an awful long time, long overdue, but the ability to sign up to BnkToTheFuture.com as an entity, as a company, as an institution, as a venture capital fund, as an organization, because up until this point, we've had a very clunky user experience. You can sign up as an individual, and we kind of had company pages, but this time we'll be rolling out next week the ability for institutions to sign up to BnkToTheFuture.com so that institutions can start building a portfolio of companies in the largest companies in crypto if they missed out, if they're not necessarily a professional venture capitalist that was involved all this way through. But now we can tap into and have a solution for all the institutional interests that we've had for an awful long time. We tend to have done it external to the platform. We're now bringing it to the platform. We can't wait to bring some on board many of our institutional clients through the identity solution. And remember, if they own Bank to the Future tokens, they can get a 50% discount on all their trading fees on the secondary market in beta as we go out of beta. And the identity solution will have a deep integration to our Bank to the Future token, rewarding people for actually verifying themselves, certifying themselves. And we're really excited about some of the possibilities as we then move out of beta with the identity product and start to do more individual identities through this and allow people to just port their identity to different products rather than having to go through the same certification, the same KYC process. And this becomes particularly relevant as the security token ecosystem evolves into more of a non-custodial solution. And we can't wait to bring that product to market. So that's everything I've got for you. I know there was so much to cover. We're really excited about where things are going. We've been waiting for the bull market to release some of these products, and we can't wait to get out of beta with some of these things so that we can also start to engage in more of our awareness campaign and letting people know about a lot of what we've been building. We've also got many more announcements to follow. So if you're involved in the Bank to the Future ecosystem, I like to think that we're one of the best kept secrets in crypto. And we aim to change that this year in the next bull market as well. So back to my face, back to questions. Hopefully that engaged some interesting conversations and questions. I've gone over what I wanted, but I always knew it was going to happen because there was so much news to cover this week. But I'm going to hand over to Famida now, who's going to pull up some questions for me, and we'll carry on. We always end on the 1 hour mark. How much longer have we got, Famida?
Looks like we have 20 minutes left.
Okay, so I'm going to answer as many questions as we can get through in the final 20 minutes. So over to you.
Alrighty then. So we have a couple of questions from last week that we didn't get around to answering. Simon, what are your thoughts on BTR Exchange planned expansion to Canada and the opportunities that come from that?
So BTR Exchange is now live on Bank to the Future. We discussed it earlier. There is a gap in the market in Canada, so it's particularly well timed. I don't think, from what I can see, it wasn't opportunistically going to Canada as a result of one of the largest exchanges going down in a world of controversy, because they've already got their offices out there, they've already built their team out there, and they're already engaging in business development out there. So it seems like they were nicely positioned in order to try and compete in the Canadian dollar crypto market. They had some banking challenges in the past. They seem to have overcome those. So we look forward to seeing what BTR Exchange can bring to the Canadian market, but there certainly seems to be a gap in the market for somebody to come through and capitalize on that opportunity.
Okay. Do you have any information on Kraken's raise, like any ETA or anything?
We cannot release any information, and so unfortunately nothing new. But in anticipation of that, make sure that you are a Bank to the Future premium member, because they will find out, before actually the wider Bank to the Future ecosystem finds out. So hold tight. Unfortunately, got nothing I can release to you at this stage.
Okay, so unlike any other project, Phase seems to be a startup that has only 6 people in their team. Can you explain a reason to us why you have accepted such a deal?
So the way that we work at Bank to the Future is that we work with early stage companies. Remember, remember Kraken was a startup when they came to us. Bitstamp was a startup when they came to us. We invested in the first round of BitPay when they were just a startup. Tony Galippi pitching his idea at the very first Bitcoin conference in Prague in 2011. Everyone started as startups. So Phase is another one that, we've had some failed startups over the time. We've had some unicorns over the time. Coin Payments, another one. They all started as startups. So it's not up to us to determine. What we're looking for is companies that are doing, making a big difference in the future of finance. They have a vision, they have a mission, they have a team, and they manage to secure a lead investor that's reputable in our space is normally the requirement. There's always exceptions to those rules, but they got the Ethereum co-founder to invest in their funding round. They're an early stage company, just like many of the companies that are now established brands started as early stage and startups. And we work across the ecosystem. Our job is to bring the deals to you. Our investors' job is to determine whether they like it or not. They have the forum in order to ask questions of the founders. And we put them through a due diligence process, and we put them through a process of trying to help them secure a lead investor. And if they secure that lead investor, then you can co-invest on the same terms. But remember, we do support early stage companies. Now, the secondary market at the moment is just for more established brands, more established companies, but we're also revising our policy there. The secondary market for new investors will be just the established brands, the types of companies you see on our secondary market right now. But we'll also, in the future, be rolling out the ability for just existing investors to trade with each other, but not take on new investors if they're not quite an established brand right now. But it won't be open to companies that have already raised funding on Bank to the Future, have not been producing good investor updates, and have not been really engaged and supporting the ecosystem or making progress. So that's kind of our policy at the moment. And Phase is a company that has a vision. And it's up to our investors to determine whether they think it will succeed. They've done their part. They've got their product ready. They've got their team together. And they're doing their early stage funding round. And we look forward at Bank to the Future to seeing if they can make a success out of it from the early stage and early funding that they secure through Bank to the Future. Obviously, it's different risk profiles. If you want to take less risk, then you're looking at a more established company, and you're obviously going to get a much higher valuation as a result.
Okay, onto the secondary market. Are you able to tell us about Shapeshift and whether it will be on the secondary market?
Shapeshift is a prime candidate for the secondary market. Shapeshift is kind of in, I guess, a transition period right now. For those that are actually existing investors in the funding round, check out the investor zone where updates are actually posted, but they're kind of in a transition phase at the moment. And we look for them to complete that transition and restructuring that they're going through before we actually put anything on the secondary market at this stage. So prime candidate, great team, great product, going through a regulatory shift as a result of adjusting their policies, doing a bit of restructuring. So we look forward to see what they produce before it goes on to the secondary market.
Okay, I have a bit of a technical-ish question. If an IPO or a takeover happens to the SPV that is tradable on the secondary market, will the amounts that are ordered be forced to be sold?
So what we haven't encountered that scenario right now, but we're certainly prepared for that scenario. It would just mean you don't need to sell them. We would receive the publicly traded shares at the SPV, and you would have to open a brokerage account in order to receive those shares, and we would swap them out for publicly traded shares. We would hold them in the SPV while you get a brokerage account. Once you've got a brokerage account, we can then transfer the shares that are held in our name to your direct name, and then you could trade those on a publicly listed stock exchange if that happens. I personally believe that most of them are going to go through to the securities token ecosystem, but I'm sure at some stage, I think Coinbase, part of their plan is actually to go into the IPO phase. Nothing that I know yet, nothing announced at this stage. But you can see that happening. So what would happen is you would swap out your SPV shares for some direct shares, and then they would trade on the stock market, because at that phase, once they're public companies, they have met all the public listing criteria, disclosure criteria, and you no longer need an SPV in the middle because they are publicly traded. They are meeting all the requirements of a publicly traded company. Rather than our OTC private markets through our special structure.
And we have a frequently asked question here, and it's about our withdrawals and deposits. When will this function become automated?
So for those, I'll go through it again. For those of you who don't know the history, at BnkToTheFuture.com, we did everything in a invest in the pitch direct way through escrows. And when we launched our secondary market, the reason we stayed in beta is because we don't have a fully automated deposit and withdrawal system yet, because everything was built around investing in an individual pitch in escrow without us having to take custody of those funds. Now in the secondary market, that changes the scenario slightly. So the reason we're still in beta is because we're working on an automated deposit and withdrawal system, both in terms of our banking integrations as well as cryptocurrency integrations. We don't have a release date for that yet, but at the moment, the reason we can't just do what a cryptocurrency exchange does, because we have to put layers of security laws in the middle as well. And so we have a higher bar of regulatory compliance that we have to adhere to in order to do checks before and after deposits and withdrawals. Therefore, we've built those systems. Identity is one part of that system, and the Bank to the Future identity allows us to automate many of the processes of what we have to do before a deposit and withdrawal. But then we've also at that stage right now where we can release so it's in the roadmap. Don't have a date yet right now. We know that it's probably the most important and frequently requested things, and we're not coming out of beta in our secondary market until we have a much leaner process for doing deposits and withdrawals as a result of the secondary market.
Okay, and actually I think this is our final question of the day. We're a little bit early. Any news on Brankus since Indonesia approved Bitcoin as a commodity back in February?
Haven't seen a latest update from Brankus. The investor zone is where that would be pasted. They've been releasing semi-regular updates on the investor zone. There's probably a new update due. Don't have an update yet, but from what I can see, they've been busy working away at making adoption in Indonesia. So unfortunately, don't have anything additional to say there. But if that's the last question, then I think we're going to close up on time. We had lots of news here, lots of announcements. Congratulations to everybody that rode out the bear market. Hopefully this is a turning point. All the indicators suggest it might be. We see new excitement. We see new institutional interest. And now Wall Street is in. We see all the big companies making announcements. And I think there's just going to be a big ripple effect from here, pardon the pun. Yeah, the subject of what we actually wanted to discuss today is how rising prices affect our platform. And what we have seen is that as the price goes up, more people are willing to speculate as they be more wealthy with their crypto, and we always see volume increase. As the price goes up, we see more and more investments happening. As the price goes down, we see less investments happening. People like to get value for their money. And they also start to speculate on the timing of when they're going to invest based upon their perception on the short term. But we also allow for fiat investments. So we have somewhat of a hedge effect. So people start investing fiat more in bear markets and crypto more in bull markets. But also as people become wealthier, they look to have a greater percentage of their portfolio that they can put into high risk, high return assets. And as our secondary market is rolling out and people can pay their fees using the Bank to the Future token, we start to see the early signs of a network effect as the bull market runs through. And the bear market is just a fantastic time in order to catch up, build, and get ready for the next bull market. So, that's how we've always done it at Bank to the Future. We've had companies that have have raised funding rounds, kept their crypto at the bottom of the market, and the increase in the price has ridden them all the way through to not having to release more rounds. So it's good to, that's why it's always good and to keep an eye on what the crypto market is. But I'm babbling now. I'm going to close it off. That's going to do it for episode 14 of Bank to the Future Live. Please do like, share, subscribe, and remember, next to the subscribe button, hit that bell button so that you get notifications from YouTube each and every week when we go live. I'm sure we've got a lot more to cover next week as all of our portfolio companies are going through the process of disrupting a multi-trillion-dollar financial industry, and the institutions are scrambling to catch up as we look at the disruption of the traditional financial sector. That's it for now. Thank you.